Hello, this is Mike Aguilara. And our conference call, I had a challenge with the recording, so I'm deciding to go ahead and record it here for, for your listening pleasure. The call was actually about an hour long, and in this recording, some conversation back and forth is going to be a lot shorter than that. But I wanted to at least cover some key elements and conversations that happened during that conference call, some things that I also wanted to make sure that reviewed, and some other key elements to help grow your business. The call to ask if there was any questions or anything that anyone needed help with. And the question came up again about the storytelling, the hero's journey. And so Carmen, she asked me about that. She was having some challenges with that. So I briefly went through it again, that your life was happening and some things happened along the way that gave some insight. And then you were either a reluctant hero or a hero that you wanted to help others. And then life is now happening again. And so with Carmen, she's also doing real estate. She's been doing it for many years. And so as I was having a conversation with her on the call to figure out how to create her story around the hero's journey, she was telling me that in real estate, she was also discovering that a lot of people, because she couldn't figure out what her Yoda or her Jedi skills were, and so I came across Wealth Financial Group, and she thought it was a great idea, and it was great for residual income to help balance out with her real estate. And so then we talked about the transition as she was in real estate and what things along the line happened. And she was in real estate, she was using a service called Crown, and to help people with their finances. And so as in real estate, she discovered a lot of people, as they're to qualify to get a home, a lot of people don't know about their financial situation, the amount of money coming in, going out, the bills and things like that. So she was helping some of her clients manage their finances. And so she really had that kind of insight of people need help with their finances. Across Rural Financial Group, she again became more aware of, this is something else that people need help with their finances. And so she jumped on board. And so the story that we're starting to develop with her was, okay, you were in real estate. A lot of people were having challenges understanding their financial situation and not really knowing how to manage the money, what was coming in, and balancing a budget. And so you came across World Financial, and you discovered that this is a great tool for people tax-free to help them manage their money and to use it as a tool for. And so you jumped in and just immerse yourself to really know how to help people and help them, again, retire tax-free. So now she's doing it and having a great time. So that's her journey that she discovered along her path, that people needed help with their financial management. And she came across World Financial, passionate and loved it, and now is helping people do that. And so you may have a challenge that you're thinking about, how do I create my story? So what along the path that inspired you to say, yes, World Financial Group is something that that everyone needs, or most people will love, because there's something that happened along your path. Either you heard about someone else, and so there was something that sparked that interest that eventually sparked the fire for you to get involved with World Financial Group. So think about your journey along the path of what might have interested you. Great, yes, great, the residual income. However, you had to think, okay, I can make great money with this residual money, and because have an opportunity to be part of the group. And I know this is a great opportunity for people, and also because a lot of people need. So think about your journey and how to apply that, so that you then went to World Financial Group and learned the Jedi skills to help more people. So that's kind of a brief overview of what we talked about in regards to the hero's journey, and with Carmen, and also wanted to reflect back on it. Think about your journey and what sparked the interest and the passion that ignited you. Any questions about your journey? By all means, reach out to me, send me an email. We'll figure out a time to talk, and I'll help you as much as I can. Next, I talked about another embedded command, or not embedded command, but ambiguous language. As you remember, with the Darren Brown episode or that video in the shopping mall, their arm, and I talked about ambiguous language where you can mark it off and using it like buy at the end of this presentation. So buy at the end is that ambiguous. So you're going to purchase at the end or you're going to learn something at the end. So buy at the end of this presentation. So that's ambiguous with an embedded command that will create that in that priming effect to make them think about buying at the end. That, again, looking at everything else with those filters in mind of purchasing or buying at the end. So another fun ambiguous phrase is like you. And so the way it would be in a conversation is saying a statement like, and I love helping families and helping people like you retire tax-free. And so when you say like you, it also creates, you're telling them that you like them, you appreciate them, and not similar to them. So that's that transderivational search. Do you mean similar to me, or are you saying you like me? So it just creates more rapport, and it helps create the connection. So have some fun with that one. I love having people like you, and then remember to mark it off, either lower your voice or look at them or nod yes to make sure the subconscious mind picks it up as something unique to pay attention to. And now with networking, a tip on networking, because the holidays are here, during networking is just have conversations with people and ask them how they chose their financial advisor. You can ask them, how would you choose one? Just to get some ideas of how people process things differently. And we'll go more into detail on this in the live workshop. And just start to use it as an exercise to have conversation with people, just to discover and learn to be curious at that point, unless they want to have more information and want to meet with you. However, it's a great exercise to start to learn how everyone is different in regards to making decisions. And during networking, a way to start a conversation, not start, but at least have a great conversation is ask somebody, so tell me your story. So you're in the high-tech field, so tell me your story. How did you get involved in the high-tech field? So when you say, tell me your story, the word story then gives them a kind of a stage to really embellish and talk about themselves in a positive way, or in a way that they feel is good. And so it's great for conversations because instead of saying, tell me about yourself, you say, tell me your story. And so from that, it can be wide open to, once upon a time, I was doing this and then I did this. And you start to hear languaging of towards or away or procedural. And that also opens up the doorway. Once they hear, tell me your story, once they tell you their story, they're more than likely to ask you, so tell me your story, the financial industry. And so that'll give you a great opportunity to now share your hero's journey. And during the hero's journey, we're going to practice more on that as well in the live workshop. That way, you can practice with everyone, or certain people can hear your story, and you'll get a sense how it is and how it's coming from your heart, people. So tell me your story. So that's during networking or just meeting people in general. And it also could be just when you're recruiting someone or just meeting with somebody, just a way of creating that rapport by asking them questions about themselves. You're interested in acknowledging them and making them feel as if you really want to get to know them. So it helps with the rapport. So another thing I touched on in the call, Tony Robbins, I am not your guru. And it's, I think, about almost a 2-hour documentary of Tony Robbins, of one of his seminars. It's called Your Destiny, or Creating Your Destiny, or something like that. And so what I want you to do, I'm going to send you the link. I found it on YouTube, the full, because it's on Netflix. However, if you don't have Netflix, and as I spoke with Carmen on the phone as well, she didn't have Netflix. So I'm going to send out the link, the YouTube link, so you can watch the full episode. And what I want you to do is now watch it with different eyes and ears, with the eyes and ears of NLP and hypnotic language, because that episode, as he's talking to people, as he's bringing people up or engaging with them, he will start to do some things that are very powerful. And I'll share with you a few of them. For example, in the beginning, probably within the first 4 or 5 minutes, he invites anyone that has been suicidal. And a few people raise their hands, and he approaches a young gentleman, and he starts to have a conversation with him. And the person starts to just tear up, and he's saying he gets really high, and then he gets just really depressed. And so some things that happened in that. Once when Tony was able to kind of intuitively read his body language, when he said, I get really high and excited and I'm high, and he raised his hand really high above his head. And then he said, then I just drop, I just get really depressed. So Tony picked up on that as interpreting that as he is beating himself up, or he is a perfectionist. He expects really high accomplishments, and then if he doesn't do it, he just feels really bad. And so Tony brought that in the conversation. Why do you think you have to be perfect in everything? And then he kept on talking. And then from that, Tony used some pattern interrupts. He started to use the F-bomb, which he knows he did it distinctively, and he actually explains that in the program. And also he talked about the gentleman's red shoes. And so those were interrupting his train of thought. Those are pattern interrupts. And as you watch the program, watch as he talks and engages with different people, how he uses pattern interrupts and that he asks. And reading body language, like he did with the arms up and down, and voice patterns, how we can tell if a person is being very aggressive or not. And he also, what he did is he utilized, and talk about utilization, just taking something and creating that into a message that's really impactful. The person, as Tony was talking to him, eventually he kind of lowered his shoulders, and Tony said, what was that? And Tony put his hands on his shoulders, said, you just lowered your shoulders. What was that about? You get it now, right? So he utilized him lowering his shoulders, which he might have just lowered his shoulders just to breathe, but he took that and just utilized it to make a strong change in that person, to have them think about things differently, feel differently. So that's the power of utilization, and he does that throughout the series as well. And just watch for that. So watch for pattern interrupts, body language, voice, utilizations. And then one other thing that he did is he did pacing, and pacing is, as I talked about, saying something that's true. You're sitting there listening to me, or standing there listening to me. That's true, and that creates a yes set. And well, what Tony did is he said something to the fact of, so you've seen me help other people, you've seen me create change in other people. And he said, yes, I have. So that means I'm going to help you, and you're going to create change in yourself. Okay, yes. So he created a yes, which caused him to say, yes, I'm going to get help. I'm going to be better, and you're going to help me. So those are pacing. Those are saying something that's true, causing them to say, yes, I want to join your team. Yes, I want to be part of it. Yes, that's true. I want to have tax-free retirement. And so think about how you can use some of these techniques as well, and watch the program. Because also there's an example where he was talking to a gal, and she was talking about losing weight and having challenges with that, and that impacting her self-respect, her self-esteem. And he asked her a series of questions where it really got down to, ultimately, it was about her relationship with her father. It wasn't about losing weight. So listen to that as he digs down, and that's the power of asking questions and criteria. So I want you to watch the program, and again, listen to it and look at it with different eyes and ears as you kind of taking the tools that and this will help you learn and accelerate the learning. That's something else that Karma was asking me. How can I learn these a lot faster? Watching this Tony Robbins episode will help you learn that, because you start to look at things and start to think, okay, I can incorporate that. Oh yeah, I want to do that when I'm talking to this person. So that's really powerful. One other thing is I wrap things up here. Some more information as well. One thing from Tony Robbins that you want to use as well, and I think he might have said it in this episode, or maybe somewhere else, but he said, alive. And so what I suggest you do is, when you're inviting people to a meeting to recruit, tell them a statement like, this is a type of company that makes you feel alive. These are the kind of people that make you feel alive, because people want to be around and be at events and want to feel alive. So use that as a suggestion that will encourage them to attend and be part of the group. So this is a type of company and people that makes you feel alive. So I will end off with that. And again, if on what I covered or anything else in regards to material, reach out to me. I'm here to help, and I'm going to send you another tip later on that is effective in many ways to help you recruit. So thank you to your success. Bye now.